So the 2005 report finds that the series of compounding factors that are driving, escalating the complexity of the cyber landscape, because the landscape is going bigger and bigger, and the way we work from anywhere, we work from any device, then sometime you see that the digitizations are happening, the emerging technology is also getting broader and broader, and we will be seeing a lot of challenges, and that landscape is getting bigger uh, on that perspective. We have seen a lot of geopolitical which has been there, and it is also creating a lot of challenges in the cybersecurity, and also the country to countries, or might be the state to state, or organization to organization, the conflicts are also there in this. And also, if you see that increased integration and the dependency on more complex supply chain environment today, also leading unpredictable risks. It is also giving that upper side of the cybersecurity threats. And the rapid of adoption of emerging technology today, we are talking about it contributing the new vulnerabilities into the threat landscape. And also the cybersecurity skill gaps are also a paramount, where we talk about a lot of gap, a lot of the skill challenges we have seen for the organization to adopt as a country, also to see that how we can make them more skilled on the cybersecurities and all those. And if you see most of the cases, if you are asking for the trend of those technological challenges, or might be the risks we are looking for 2025, I have seen AI powered the cyber attack will be more, and that will be around, it is predicted around 66% it will be contributing to those the attacks which is happening today. And second is the converge OT and IT. That landscape, it will be around 13% we are talking about. And cloud technologies, of course, we have a greater, though we adapt a lot of cloud, but cloud configuration, misconfigurations, and a lot of solutions of the SaaS platform, a lot of other integration, it contributes up to 11% of it. And exploitation of the IoT devices, because today a lot of places we have seen in the industry 4.0 or 4.5, a lot of automations are happening in the supply chain, as well as we are talking about the smart cities, we are talking about connected cars, we are talking about autonomous cars, we are talking about a lot of integrated system because of this hyper connected world. Of course, we have seen a lot of challenges in the IoT environment as well. When the attackers started something like, it will be compromising your identity first. And that is where if people used to give certain kind of password, username, password, or might be give away their identity on the social media, or might be some of that applications. So that is where we have to see a lot of awarenesses play a crucial role. It works for us, and definitely it will working for a lot of other organizations for the cybersecurity awareness. And the skill resource, you need to reskill the people, so that they can defend your digital asset within our organization. So these are the couple of strategies so we can play role for the organization, as well as and the support to the community as well. Zero trust is just not the technology, or might be not a single solution, where it is a layer of approach, and from the endpoint to cloud, the controls should be very effective on those processes. Of course, the AI play the crucial role to improve those kind of MTAR or MTTDR, and giving us that advantage of to have better efficiency, or faster response, or knowing better on the time which is from where that you have your bots in place, or might be malware in place, or some behavior is differently we have seen from different persons, or might be the users is being connected from different geolocation within the 10-15 minutes, is locating from Asia to getting to Europe continent again and accessing the same thing. So those are effectively we can see through the zero trust. And also we ensure that all that technologies can part of the zero trust can be integrated, so that we can get the right insights and take appropriate action faster. It is more or less the journey you have to start. And in the journey, basically, we have to do the assessment, identifying those your PI data, and classify them. Then you protect that. Then aligning with the business processes wherever it is, to having the sustenance for the year-on-year basis. So that is where somewhere we have to start from there. So we need to see that how implementation effectively across the domain or industry, and need additional resource like people, process, technology, and awareness as well. It is not only we have to put the technology in place for doing the DLP, for doing the classification, that's fine, but how the DLP and what kind of sensitive data it is, and how it will be detecting automatically or it is a manual approach, and some point of time your data or email may not be goes out and there is chaos in the enterprises. So you have to create a lot of cultural culture to having the awareness on those aspects of how important for the DPDP for us. So that is important awareness. So what I can think about the challenges, implementation effectively into the any organizations. But somewhere we have to start the journey. So as an organization, we have also started for identifying, classifying for those initial stages of those DPDPs. The four key pillar of the data governance framework are data quality. You have the right quality of data, and the data, like you have to have the ownership of those data. Who will be having the right owner in business processes or business, and data protection is the third point, third pillar, and of course the data compliance and the data management. What we're talking about is the end of the day, end of the process. So we need to ensure that all these pillars are ensure that integrity and security and usability, and forming a solid foundation to managing it data effectively. Otherwise, see, the data is there, but it's not available for use. It doesn't mean or integrity is not there in the data. It doesn't make any sense to keeping all those into place. Okay, so that is important. But how we can have those challenges mitigated might be the robust security measure. While you're talking about access control, restricting access to data, unauthorized persons, and implementing the monitoring system to detect, prevent unauthorized access and breaches if anything is happened. And second is the contractual safeguards. And for the compliance perspective, if you see, regular audit should be there. Always stay updated with that, laws and regulation of the land. And employee training should be important. Like they should not say that, okay, I'm not aware that it has been that way. And establishing the strong data protection framework where we can talk about digital workspace solutions or third-party data compliance side of it, or data breaches incident to inform them, and maintaining records that we are waiting. Or also sometimes we can see also certain encryption of those, whether data is in rest or data is in transferred. It will be mostly we have to see that the data integrity and encrypted. So those, on the technology perspective, it should be enabled for those. So that is where we can see that and maintain the compliance side of it, and challenges what is there we have to protect through the contracts, or might be different signing off between two parties to maintain those. So these are most of the data localization cross-border transfer challenges under DPDP Act. So if you talk about that OTITs converge well today because of lot of analytics will be done, either predictive maintenance, or might be your efficiency or productivity side of it, or might be you talk about the quality perspective. It has been always monitored, creating an industrial cloud, or might be getting all the telemetry data or command and control center, gathering all the informations, or the power generation if you talk, or transmission issue, how much power leakages are there between this point A to point B. That has been also considered today. Means it is more predictability when you bring and integrated with the predictive analytics systems. It gives you a lot of insight around having optimizing those processes or businesses, or might be the supply chain perspective. We can have much visibility. That is where the converge has happened in OT and IT. And the challenges is, of course, because the sensors, the PLC, the SCADA systems are always something is the ages they're built up. They all of a sudden we can't change everything for that to creating those telemetry data today. The legacy is creating the problem because the new greenfield projects or greenfield supply chain plans always they are connected. Okay, of course, but certain legacy systems are there that should be also huge. The amount, the capex amount, replacing those is a huge capex investment. It is all of a sudden we can't change that, and the legacy will be always there. But nevertheless, we need to protect them as well. That is where the challenges comes, because they are might be as old OS operating systems, might be certain PLCs are not connected through directly to your Ethernet, or might be your protocol that is different IoT protocol. So that is the challenges. The integration will be there across, but but organizations are like, moral of putting the system, like, to monitoring those effectively, and seeing that how those protocols, or might be any breaches, or might be any kind of alert generated by those systems. At least we have alerted, and we know that what is that, like, policies we can build around to protect. So those are things we as an organization is taking for OT and IT's perspective. And it is, of course, if you to see that if people are coming out, the technologies is coming, connected cars, or might be you talk about Industry 4.0, 5.0 is come talking about autonomous automations. We are putting a lot of sensor, even though for all the processes, supply chain subfloors, to getting those telemetry data, and how we can automating those by around the clock. It is not for the one shift and second shift or third shift. It is around the clock. It should give you that analytics out of that, so that we can take right actions for to protecting those OT environments. And the information which is getting also, it is not, it is humongous, like, data it generates. It's not like GB, it might be TB or petabyte kind of data it generates every day.